All right, we're live. So, welcome, guys. We got new blood. I figured we'd do kind of a round robin, just kind of introduce who we are and kind of try to reboot this thing. All right, we're live. So, I guess I'll just start. I'm John Salmez. I run Simple Programmer and BulldogMindset.com. Basically, Simple Programmer. I'm not as actively involved in it anymore, but it teaches soft skills to software developers. I've got a couple of books, best-selling books that I sell through there, and some digital courses. That was my first business. And then Bulldog Mindset is personal development for men, kind of focused on masculinity, but I'm making a shift in the focus more towards the financial aspect of things, going back towards financial and mindset. It still has, traditionally has the pillars of fitness, wealth, dating, relationships, and then the mindset. But I'm going to try and shift more of the focus on the products and the content towards the financial aspect of things and then mindset stuff. So that's me.
Nice.
Marcel, you want to go?
No, go ahead.
I'm Marcel Klein, and I'm a success coach and hypnotist. I have seminars all over the country. I'm 23 years old. I've been doing this since I'm 15. I'm pretty much the best hypnotist in the world. What I do is to help people reprogram their mind for their wealth, their health, and their relationships. So if they want to make more money, and I mean a lot more, whether someone's making 100 million a year, they're making, $50,000 a year. I help people go to the next level. If someone wants to attract their perfect couple or have an amazing relationship or just understand people and psychology a little bit better, I teach them how to do that. And if they want to get healthier and just be completely focused on their habits and their routine, I help them execute that as well, just by pretty much snapping my fingers.
Nice. You said you've been doing this since you were 15?
Yeah.
And you're 23?
Yeah.
Dude, love it. That is awesome. So mine's Manny Waya, and I started 2000 Books, which is a book summary business back in 2015, summarizing knowledge from the world's best business and personal development books. And then just last year, I started a productivity company, and that's all about helping people become a lot more productive in very short periods of time. It's called Focus Blocks. It's helping people literally double their productivity in as little as 60 minutes. And there are some ancillary products on that line. So more and more, I'm shifting into productivity and letting go of not letting go, but like 2000 Books still exists, but productivity has become more of the fun game that I love to play these days. Of course, I also have a YouTube channel from the 2000 Books brand and a podcast with that as well. In case anyone who's listening has never seen the YouTube channel, it's 2000 Books. So
Awesome. Yeah. So Marcel, basically what we kind of do is we'll just talk about like what's going on business wise. So anyone has anything that they want to talk about, what they're working on, and then just get some feedback and help each other solve some of the problems that we have. So
Yeah. You want me to start?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, so pretty much for the last few years, the biggest obstacle I've had, because it takes time to build up your warm audience and organic audience. So I've been trying to figure out cold traffic. And the hardest thing is to get someone from cold traffic, because they're cold, into a high ticket offer. And I've gone through 19 different media buyers, people spend money on ads and run ads for you. And 18 of them have lost me a lot of money. So I'll make, through organic, because I charge quite a bit of money, I'll make, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year organically, from my warm audience, because it's so high ticket. And I'll put like 80% of it back into marketing, and I was not getting a return. Finally, I found a different media buyer who actually came through one of my programs, and it has been a complete game changer. So for the first time this last week, we finally have consistency. So every single day, we're getting about a 22x ROAS, which is also unheard of apparently in the industry. I don't really know how it's so unheard of, but if you sell high ticket and you have a good sales team, it's bound to happen. But I'm pretty excited about it. The only thing that concerns me is what happens at scale, right? Because what cold traffic is you're finding all these audiences, you're testing them out. And eventually you're going to run out of people in some of these audiences. You're going to have to form new audiences or create new audiences. So obviously I don't have to worry about that for at least 6 to 8 months minimum. But later on, I believe that'll be an issue that I'll deal with. And I have to make sure, I think I have to make sure that I have to keep costs super, super low now and find a way to keep, reselling people in my current list and building the list up. So I'm able to monetize what becomes an organic audience. But the dilemma is, keeping the budget low enough. So when something like that does happen, the business doesn't get shocked with revenue. And, if you guys have any suggestions on what you think I should do now, what systems to build or what things to do just to make sure that something like that could never happen.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think that, right now you're tapping into an untapped audience, right? With the cold traffic, because you have so much depth there. But eventually you're going to hit a point where new people are coming on, right? That is going to replace, like, you're going to hit some kind of peak where, every week when you do new ads, you're going to have new people that are new seeing your ads for the first time, right? There's going to be some cycle of that. Whereas right now, maybe it's 90% of people are seeing your ads for the first time. So I think that you're going to eventually hit that point. And maybe that's what you're talking about. It's like when you get to that point, like, you have to be sustainable at that point, because you can't have infinite growth. You can't continue to grow. At some point, you're going to hit this equilibrium where new people are coming in that have never seen your ads before at a certain clip, and that's just the rate that it's going to be. But yeah, I think the thing is moving to the model of, can you monetize your existing ads or your existing customers as much as possible?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm looking at now. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I already do a good job at that because that's how I've survived. But at that level, I know expenses are significantly higher, right? If I have a sales team of 50 people, that's now office expenses. There's a bunch of things, and if lead flow goes down, now what do I do with the sales team? So it's just a lot of dilemmas. So I'm like, well, maybe I scale more conservatively, because I've been very, very aggressive up until now. So I'm debating whether or not I should be more conservative or continue to go aggressively. And being aggressive can work for a short period of time. I just don't know when being too aggressive now increases expenses. And now,
what's the cost of fulfillment when you are getting currently, like, if you're spending $2,000, $5,000 to get a customer, what's the average cart value or what's the average ticket value, and what's the cost of fulfillment?
So the average ticket value is 13,000 right now. I'll tell you the numbers as of Sunday. From Sunday to Thursday, we spent $2,900 and produced $66,000 in revenue and around $30,000 in cash in. So, like, other people are on a payment plan, but $30,000 in the bank. So even just off that, it's almost a 10x ROAS, or a little over a 10x ROAS. And if you account everyone following through and everyone's signed a contract, it's almost a 22x ROAS just on the ad spend. So obviously those numbers are insane. From what I heard, apparently 3 to 4x on cold traffic is considered absurd. I'm getting 22x, but I think it has to do with also the fact that most people don't sell high ticket.
Well, what's your cost of fulfillment though? Because if that is the number, like, why would you not scale this as much as you can?
I want to scale. I'm trying to figure out, because a lot of my friends who have cold traffic, they're hitting like $3.3 million a month, but then they're now hitting, like, one of my friends, his name's Cole. His problem is not that he's not able to scale. His problem is that now the cost to acquire, a client has become exponentially more expensive, because what they have to go through, it's like all the audiences that they could have tapped into are kind of tapped out. Now they have to create their new audiences, and this, it's a lot harder for them to convert.
You will get there at some point. What is the cost of fulfillment though? Do you have that clarity?
Like you mean my service?
Yeah, for product fulfillment.
$16 a month, Zoom.
Oh, it's just Zoom, but there's no coaches or anyone else who have to be paid to fulfill that?
Marketing, I have to pay a marketing team, and maybe commission if you're talking.
Okay, so there's actually nothing else you have to pay in order to fulfill this?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Just time. I mean,
just your own time.
Your own time, right? For the coaching calls.
Yeah. I mean, obviously my time is expensive, but yeah, that's it's my knowledge, right? So it's not really like there isn't a cost of goods or anything like that.
Is that a group setting or is it one-on-one that you're delivering?
No, it's group. I have one-on-one clients, but I charge $1 million a year for it. So
Okay.
it's rare that I get a lot. I get very, very few. I filter out people. There's only so many people I work with one-on-one.
What about sales? How much does it cost you commission to make one of those?
15%.
15%. Okay.
So 15% goes to them, and then 10% of the profit goes to marketing. So almost 25% actually leads to that to marketing after and sales. Well, sales gets 15% of revenue, marketing gets 10% of profit. So a little under 25% of the total cost, and then I keep almost 100% of the back end, because even if I decide to upsell them or cross-sell them, the sales team doesn't really get commission on that. Marketing doesn't get anything from that. So, if I can increase the lifetime value of the customer, then the margin continues to increase.
Then it doesn't cost you much to scale, right? In terms of, because your salespeople are totally on commission.
100% commission, yeah.
And your marketing team is also only on commission?
No, I pay them $10,000 a month.
Plus.
But as I scale,
yeah, but that's nothing.
It'll go up to 30 though, and then 40 and 50. Just as I scale, they need to hire more people, and as they hire more people, my cost.
I see.
Yeah.
So there isn't really any downside for you scaling this as much as you can. Even if you get to the point where you're only getting 2x ROAS, it's still worth scaling because you still have a back end that continues to convert, right?
Yeah. I guess the only risk then would be that if, let's just say we get to a 2x ROAS, the risk increases, because if the sales team has a bad day or 5 bad days and we're even below break even, now we're not in profit anymore. And I've noticed that happen every single time I run cold traffic, is that there's a sweet spot, and then there's we went too fast. And it's not that the lead quality goes down, it's that there's only, you can only get so many, even in the same audience, you can only get some people that are actually qualified. Right. And they might be qualified, like we could say they make 120K or more a year, but they still don't have any money. They expended every penny out, because they can't manage their finances for whatever reason. And, you're not closing anybody that day. And then you don't close anyone the next day, and then the next day. And now you're spending $4,000 or $5,000 a day. You're like, well, that adds, that's almost, $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 spent in the last 3 days. It's happened to me multiple times.
I see.
It's happened to me with previous media buyers, but they were way less skilled than this one. And that's my only concern, is that if I do scale more aggressively before I can see consistency, right, I'm concerned that it becomes less profitable.
Yeah, that part I like, but as long as you're seeing the ROAS on a rolling period of time, whether it's 3-day period or 7-day period, you can continue to scale until you start to see the ROAS decline. And at some point, whatever that number is for you, you choose, let's say 3x ROAS or 4x ROAS is when you start pumping the brake a little bit or deciding, okay, well, we're going to slow down. The other part of this equation though is like, damn man, acquiring customers that are paying $30,000, like, do you have any kind of continuity on the back end?
Yeah. So it's a 6-month program, and you sell them into seminars, you resell them into the program. The thing is, it becomes a community. It's a mastermind. So they really, really do like each other. And, it's 4 calls a week, one with me, one with a coach, but that's $2,000 a month. And I pay that no matter what, it's easy. And then, another one with one of my personal assistants who goes over them and has exercises and things like that. And anyways, everyone there gets so close. It becomes, they kind of get, like, I've had people in the group for almost 2 years. So it becomes something that they really love. And the results in the group are insane. Almost everyone in the group's net worth, at least doubles. I had a guy in the group who just lost a $300,000 a month business. And now 6 months into the group, he just renewed because now he's making $1.5 million a month. And the only reason he was able to do that is because the group teaches you how to change your focus. And then he connected with someone else in the group. And then that person in the group ended up helping him. And it's cool. It's a cool group of people. But the continuity only occurs if I'm on my A game. Like, I noticed there was a month where I was not doing well because I was sick. And, I tried to deliver, but I had no clarity, wasn't really sleeping at night. And every single person that was due for renewal that month did not renew. It's the first time ever happened.
So it's a 6-month program that renews automatically.
Not automatically. We asked them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's so expensive. You can't just be like, hey, charge your card, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Okay. And then I'm trying. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the thing is to have like have a window that you're a look back window. Maybe it's 10 days, you know, maybe it's 15 days, maybe 30 days where you calculate your average, your ROAS for that period. And then that's your indicator. And then you have sort of a threshold. If it starts to go under this amount, then you pull back. But as long as it's above a certain amount on the 30-day look back or whatever that look back period is, I'd probably give it. I mean, it depends on how many leads you're processing per day to get statistical significance, but that would probably make the most sense this way, because you want to push the gas pedal as hard as you can, because you don't know how long that the vehicle will exist, right? I think that's the biggest concern I would have, is it's like, you don't know, something could change, Facebook ads could change, any variable like outside of your control could change. We would make it so that you can't do this. So you might as well hit it as hard as you can, as fast as you can, as long as you've got that threshold.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
And the ultimate game, like if you think about it, is who can spend on the front end the most without recouping that cost for a longer period of time, right? Those people who can do that for the longest duration of time are the people who can build the longest term businesses, right? If you look at Agora and all of these guys, they know that when they acquire a customer, they're going in the red for almost like 6 months to a year before they get their money back. So you are playing the game where you're like, okay, I'm actually willing to lose $500 on a customer to acquire that customer, because I know in the back end we have so much that I don't care if we lose even 500. Like even if we go to 1x ROAS, I'll still be okay. Or like, you need to know those numbers, and over time, when you do your mathematical analysis, can you have that clarity and know that a customer is not just worth $13,000 to you, but that customer that comes through that traffic source is actually worth $40,000 to you. So that 13,000 is the front end ROAS, but in all truth, is the back end that really matters for you, because you have continuity, you have higher ticket sales, and all of those things that will. I don't know what your customer lifetime value is, but I'm assuming it's at least double or triple, huh?
But I've never seen what these customers' lifetime value are. I know my organic audience can be. I don't know what a cold traffic audience can be, but so far it's been incredible on the front end. My concern is, for example, yesterday we had 0 sales, right? And we had an amazing first 3 days, but yesterday 0 sales. I mean, we had 2 sales, but set like $350 seminar tickets, nothing crazy, So it didn't even, or actually we're in the minus, negative yesterday. And I'm like, okay, well, what if this stayed this way for the next 7 days? Well, then it wouldn't be this crazy ROAS again, which is also where I'm trying to see, okay, well, do I stay here, stabilize? Do I continue to scale? Because we had such, good 4 days before that. I guess that's my biggest concern. And just because in the past I've decided to continue to throttle, and it ended up throttling in the wrong direction.
So you said in the last 3 days you didn't have any sales?
No, we had sales every day except yesterday.
The thing,
how many calls were there, or how many leads were processed on that day?
It's like only 14 calls a day right now. Something crazy.
Okay, so because I think what will give you the most confidence is when you have a really good statistical, like instead of looking at what you did per day, look at total number of leads to close ratio, and then dollar amount, because then you'll know, because I mean, you're going to be living in stress if you're like, okay, today we did no sales, because maybe your close rate is 1 out of 20, you do 14 calls that day, you get 0 sales, you feel like something's wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's just a 5% close rate on this. And so, over 100 calls, you're going to get, the 5 that will close on it. So,
just make a big picture. See it over more time.
Yeah.
In fact, do you have the numbers? I'd be curious, like how many, since you started running these ads, like how many total leads versus how many total closes. That would.
I'll tell you right now, actually.
Yeah.
And do the math. So 54 calls over 5 days. So the average is almost 11. 80% answered, and we closed 60% of them.
Okay, so 50% close rate on the call.
Yeah. And the average lifetime value right now is 13K. The cash in those, which is what I'm basing this off of, is 30K. So reason being, you can't, I'll get payment plans in the next week, 2 weeks, and money will come in compound. But you can't run a business based on money that's not in the bank yet, you know? So
right.
Based on money in the bank, it's 30K. And the spend was 2,100. So
there's still some variance potential in there. It's not statistically significant. I mean, at a 50% close rate, it's getting pretty damn close to it with 54 leads. But I would say that you probably need a couple hundred leads, like get 300 people through and then see what your close rate is and what your profit is. And then at that point, you could know reliably whether or not, you could scale, because then you should have statistical significance. If you have 300 people come in, you're going to know whatever percentage that is, that's going to be probably like a 90% accuracy, just without doing the math.
And the thing is, like with cold traffic, like Facebook is right now showing it to your best possible audience, the highest converting audience. So right now you have a 48% conversion rate. Over time, that might go down to 40%, 30%, 20% call conversion. And that's going to happen to every business, right? It's going to happen. The key also, in addition to what John's saying here, is to have some sort of a modeling in place, or some sort of like analysis in place where that I can sustain this for 7 days, 14 days, 15 days, 30 days period of time, and invest this kind of money without losing sleep, because I know I'm okay with that kind of investments. And I know to a certain level of clarity that a customer or a lead is worth this much to us in the long term. So as long as you have clarity on the lead value and how long that period is running, because right now, without that clarity on value of a lead or value of a call or value of a customer, and you might already have those numbers, I'm just saying.
I don't have all of them yet. They're not clear enough yet.
Right. So if you have clarity on like how much a lead is worth, how much a call is worth, how much a customer is worth, now you can play the game in a lot more sustainable fashion and grow it in a way where you're not taking risks at random, right? You're much more calculated with your approach. You're like, okay, well, I know we're going to spend 100K this month, no big deal, and because we will recoup that cost, because every lead is worth $200 to us, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. In your case, it's more like every lead is worth like $5,000 right now, which is unheard of. Like that's not going to be sustainable for a very long period of time. So let's not even like think of that as possible. But if you think a lead is worth $500 or something like that, even then we're talking something realistic, and you can instead of looking at 3 days and 1 day and 5 days, which is you're gonna lose sleep and you're gonna lose hair, right? In the process, you're gonna pull your hair out if you're looking at numbers so closely, like every day, like, oh shit, no sales yesterday, no sales. But if you look at a 3-week window or 2-week window, you can at least have some sort of semblance. So it's almost like building a buffer into your business, that having that buffer like of a monthly basis, like, okay, this is our ad spend. I'm going to be okay with spending that. Even if this month turns out to be crazy, I'm not making the decision on a short-term 3-day, 5-day, 7-day window. And that's going to be a function of how much tolerance you have and how much cash you have in the bank and how much you know your numbers. So having the numbers, having the analysis, having the reporting, and also your cash in the bank, and using that as a way, like, this is my marketing budget, no matter what, we're going to go forward. And then any kind of changes on top of it, but don't trying to make changes too fast is a problem too with any kind of paid media acquisition campaign, right?
No, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And I think what you guys are saying is actually the way to look at it. So I was looking at it more narrowly because it's so new. So I was like, hey, let's look at it from this window. But more time needs to go by before I get accurate numbers on it. obviously, and this is expelling the revenue I produce already from the organic stuff. This is just, revenue coming from cold traffic. So I know my numbers on the organic side. I don't know my numbers on the cold traffic side yet. I kind of know, but the numbers.
How much is a customer worth to you from organic? A customer of this program?
Like 2,300. Like 2,300 is what the average cost, like value would be.
Across the board of all your customers of organic.
Because there's on the high end where, I have customers who are paying up to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. And, I'm not including one-on-one because one-on-one would skew the number. But, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 just over time. They've been to every seminar, they spend a lot of money. And then they're the ones who just kind of come in and, spend $350 or, $500 on a course.
$2,300 per customer. That's the value.
That's the average. Yeah. That's what the average
and what's the value per lead?
On organic? Were you talking lifetime value or just in general?
Yeah, lifetime.
Yeah, 2,300. That's lifetime
per
value.
lead or per customer?
Like if I average out all the customers, that's the average. But if I were to select customers that went into a certain group, like for example,
no, per lead as in per email subscriber, or do you only?
Like $3, $4 to $5, like $3.50, $4 on email subscribers is per month. Per month.
Okay.
It hovers between $3 to $4
per email subscriber per month.
Per email subscriber, yeah.
And how big is your list?
Right now it's at 11,000.
Okay.
But they're all paying customers. Everyone on there has bought something.
Oh, I see. So you don't have email list of non-buyers.
I have, but it's smaller. It's like 3,000, and I don't really invest that. I should invest more into it, but the main list I track is my buyers list.
Oh, interesting. So how are you getting sales from organic? Are you doing direct from Instagram?
Instagram's the highest converting app I've ever seen in my life. I convert 7 or 8 leads a day on Instagram. And I'm not even that big on Instagram, right? It's like 56,000, 55,000 followers, right? And it's been pretty stagnant there. But if you just go on my Instagram, it's just content. So, there's almost nothing personal on it. And every single piece of content is a funnel. It says, hey, send me a DM with this word and your phone number. DM this word and your phone number. And people DM it, and I just send it to the sales team. And they just, that's the easiest lead in the world to convert because they're so warm.
Oh, interesting. So you have them DM you, and then someone chat closes them on the DM.
Yeah, I have a specific organic sales team, and I have a cold traffic sales team. So my organic sales team works on that all day long, and then my cold traffic sales team works on those. So let's say my organic sales team will continuously reach out to people who are fans who've been to some programs or seminars, and resell them, upsell them
through Instagram.
No, so they don't touch my Instagram. I just send them the leads, and then they have a list. Like I have a CRM, all my leads, and it tells you where the leads are from. Also, YouTube has been very good.
Yeah,
my YouTube is smaller, but very, very high quality leads come from YouTube. Like the highest quality leads come from YouTube.
Interesting. So okay, so how do you send your people from the DMs? You just get their contact?
Yeah, so they'll show up in my request, and I just screenshot it. Like this morning, I spent around 10 minutes screenshotting 30 DMs, and then I just sent it over to the sales team. So I have a sales manager for organic. I have a sales manager for cold traffic. Sales manager delegates the leads to the people who should take it, depending on where, the country code, things like that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
TikTok's been pretty good too. I have 200,000 on TikTok. TikTok isn't producing a lead that'll pay me 10,000, but leads that'll pay $500, $600, and produces a lot of those leads.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you know what? I think that probably the thing that would be a good thing for you to try is to do some kind of a lead magnet, some kind of to collect email addresses through because if you've got your content, right, the number of people that are going to DM you, it's going to be a smaller number. But if you have some lead magnet out there that you advertise, get this free thing, my 5 number 1 mind hacks that I've learned being a hypnotist for so many years, or, these are the number 5 things that are holding people back, whatever you come up with, something like that. And then make a call to action for that, probably in your story to swipe up. you probably get, thousands of people coming in through email per month doing that. And then you can follow up however you want to. You can integrate them into your organic sales team where they basically use the email and then contact them directly, or you can just have an email sequence that you send out that you sell directly from on sales pages. But that's probably a good untapped area, because that's what Manny was saying with like the cost per lead. Like the way that we usually look at things, and is basically to try and get everyone onto an email list, right? And then we sell from the email list primarily, right? So that's why we look at like the cost per, how much an email subscriber is worth, since that's the main funnel that we've been using. So.
What would you guys say a good average cost per subscriber would be for a list that hasn't bought anything yet?
Like the list that hasn't bought anything, the value of that list.
Yep.
It should be $1, at least $1 a month per subscriber, right? You should make. So for example, for Bulldog Mindset, I have a list of, let me see what the list size is now. I think it's like 20 something thousand.
That's really good.
And then I get the revenue from that, like on the membership, is something like 25,000 a month. So let me see what the total number is. It's like 22,000 people on my simple programmer list. I've got like 70,000 people, 70,000 people on there, but that one is not hitting the revenue per subscriber. It should be, but some of that also depends on where the demographics of the list, right? So like the simple programmer list has probably like 40% India in there, and that's
don't hate on India.
What's that?
Don't hate on India.
I'm just saying they're not buyers, not for expensive products. So
yeah, $1 per subscriber per month is a standard in the industry.
Yeah.
But of course you're doing way better than that. But the thing is, yours are customers.
Yeah, they're all customers. So it's
a different list. Yeah.
They're not even warm. They're buyers.
They're hot. Yeah, that's like a different list altogether. 11,000 customers is a good damn list, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you have so the only recurring offer you have in your thing is your group coaching program, the $13,000 group coaching for 6 months, right?
Yep, group coaching, and pretty much there's not a single seminar I'll do without a CTA to something else.
So what's your, you have a lot of products. What's your value ladder like right now? What are the different things you're selling?
So there are, I'll tell you my funnel. My funnel is get people in a seminar, and then
in-person seminar, or is it online these days?
They can do both. So usually I like in person because I like feedback from people. I like seeing people. I like bringing people up on stage. I like doing things like that. But it'll be a seminar, a webinar, or a course. So those are the three top of funnel things. So they'll buy a seminar ticket, they'll buy an online course, or they'll buy a webinar.
They'll buy a webinar, or it's a free webinar?
No, they'll buy like paid webinar. And then from those things, if it's a course, I'll have my sales team hit them up and then upsell them to either a seminar, the webinar, or the group coaching. If they come to these seminars, then I have more expensive seminars like retreats, which are like $10,000, $15,000. I'll upsell people on that and group coaching. Same with the webinar. And then from those, if I really find someone I like a lot, I think someone's really cool, they're really successful, then I will invite them to work with me one-on-one, which is $1 million a year.
So your group coaching is like $2,000 a month, right?
If you were to break it down per month, yeah, but no one can pay for a month. If they want to come for 1 month, it's $5,000. I do not encourage short periods of time just because you want results. It's not you don't go to the gym for 30 days and expect to look amazing. It's a long-term thing. So
that's a good close. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
My close rate, if I'm on the phone, is almost 100%.
Dude.
If it's qualified, it's 100%.
Yeah.
I don't have time to. It's not.
So basically, a seminar is $400, something like that, $500.
So this is the cheapest seminar I've ever done. I'm doing it in April, end of April. Told John about it, but it's April 29th, 30th, May 1st. Tickets start at $350. They go up to $1,000 and $2,500. But $2,500 and $1,000 are obviously way better tickets than a $350 ticket. But if someone just wants to get in the door, they can't even afford it. That's why I made that option available. Also, if they can't make it live, they can watch it, from home on Zoom live. Interact with everyone on Zoom.
And the courses are what price point usually?
They're lower. They're like $197. That's just like a cold traffic push to courses. So that's what I used to run, is just cold traffic to courses, and then upsell them on the back end. Probably almost break even on the courses. And then that's how I'd fill seminars, and I would fill people up. I'd fill rooms just from the course buyers list. And just the course buyers list is 7,000 people.
So that model is not working anymore. That's why you're going to this, where you're doing phone calls?
It is working, but the cost
have gone up.
Like the lifetime value is lower. The conversion time period is a lot lower. Like it takes a lot more time to close these guys on higher ticket. Also, they're not as wealthy. It's a lower, it's a lower budget demographic. So like every 1 out of 200 can afford a $10,000 seminar or group coaching.
Right.
Of the course buyers.
Yeah. And maybe 20 of them can afford a seminar.
Interesting.
So like 10% of them can upsell to a seminar, and about 10% of those can then upsell to something more expensive. So it's not as it's less efficient. If I were to be more productive, I'm still running it because it's profitable enough to continue to run, and it builds the list over time, and it's cool, and it builds a bunch of fans and things like that. But over time, I'll scale it just to break even, not because it's making any money.
Yeah, if you're breaking even on front end, that's something you can keep spending money on.
Yeah, exactly.
Acquire customers for free.
Yeah. Do you also sell a service?
No, I try not to. But everything we sell is a service in the sense, but it's productized service.
Got it.
So I'm not involved. I have a coaching, I have a mastermind, but I don't even promote that one. Mostly it's all product now. So I have different tiers. Like I have a $300 a month recurring service, but it's not me. And then like $40 a month recurring service. Again, it's not me. So these are all and then $1,000 a month. But mostly I'm focused just on productivity solutions, which are at that price range.
Makes sense.
But no service. But I do like when you talk about those big numbers, I do like that idea a lot, because those big numbers are not realistic with a product. It usually gets to service of some kind or coaching of some kind that's required to get to like 10K or 20K or 100K or anything of that kind of offer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I have some friends crushing it in the space. We'll see. The goal I have is to fill rooms with thousands of people, right? Like that to me is exhilarating.
So when you fill your seminars, are you breaking even on the cost of seminar when you fill those rooms? Is that
no? Seminar model is the most profitable model I've ever seen in my life. Like the room costs $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a bigger room for like 3 days, maybe $10,000 for 3 days. Usually if you get a good deal, depending on the city, depending on the location. So let's just say a worst case scenario, you have a $13,000 room that can have up to 500 people. So, you spend that, you got the stage, you got everything. So 13,000 tickets are on average $2,500 a ticket, minimum up to 5,000, right? And that's normally how I sell my seminars. So after around 4 or 5 people, then I break even, and I'll give you an example of a seminar I did in Miami last May. It cost me $3,000 for the room for 3 days. So $1,000 a day.
Really? For how many people?
So I had 35 people in the room, 35 people online.
So it's a small room.
It was a small room. And everyone paid minimum $2,500. Some were paying $5K, depending on what ticket they got. And then the upsell was $10,000. And I had 17 people from the room convert to the upsell.
50%.
So it was $170,000 upsell. Plus, there's another about $100,000 in profit from the seminar ticket. So it's a $270,000, $250,000 pretty much dollar profit seminar.
Dude, man, I don't think John or I ever even thought about running a seminar or even thought about that as a business model?
It's so good and it's fun and you get a lot of content. And to be honest, selling from the stage, I really don't know anyone who's better than me at selling from the stage. I've studied everybody. I've studied everyone at the back of my hand. And to be honest, most speakers are fucking scared to sell. Like they're scared to sell from the stage. I'm like, how are you scared to offer something that's going to change somebody's life? You know? And that fear lowers their conversion rate. I swear to God, if you're on stage, it's the highest converting sale in the world. There's nothing, not phone sales, not marketing, not webinar. If you have someone in your room, in that environment, you can convert almost anybody. And the only reason the rest didn't convert is because there's a $10,000 offer and they literally could not afford it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is insane. Those are.
I had 25 people go outside. Thought I was going to make $250,000 upsells, but it wasn't. It was only 17 that could afford it. The rest just literally couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So when you do larger seminars, is this because this was a smaller one? When you do larger events, what's it usually like?
So for example, my friend Owen, right? He has a company called RSD, and he'll do like a free tour, and it'll be like a 4-day free tour, like a Miami Summit type thing, right? So
are they still doing that stuff?
Yeah, they're having one in March in Miami, March 8th. So like I did one with them last year that had like 250 people in the room, something like that. And
that was the free seminar.
Yeah, it was free seminar. I mean, like $50 or something. Most people can come for free if they want, whatever, it doesn't matter. And their total revenue was like $600,000 over 4 days.
What did they sell in that?
So it was multiple offers. It was my offer, their offer. I had like 170K in sales just from an hour talk. You know, so
nice.
I think it's even more profitable if you get to just go speak on other people's stages and sell.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about anything except making
you walk in, you
making your own offer.
You just give them a percentage, and you like. If I could get on a stage every week, I'd probably make a couple million a month, or in one stage. Like if it's a big room, there's 6,000-7,000 people in a room. I guarantee you, I'll have the average conversion per person in a room, and this is what I've noticed, is $1,000 a person in a lower ticket room, like a closer to free, like a few $100s is about $1,000 on average in a room. So, for example, the seminar I have coming up, it's probably going to be a little bit higher because there are higher tickets available.
How many people are you going to fill into that room?
I'm going to try to fill with at least 150 to 200 at least. So, we'll see. If I can do more, then I will. It really depends. Like, for example, John offered to help fill it as well. So that might throw an extra, 50 people. So we'll see. I mean, and I have a couple other speakers with massive lists that said they're down. So if they're down to do it, maybe we can get to 500-600 people. That'd be pretty awesome. And then you just do the math. You're like, okay, it's around a $500,000-$600,000. If it's 500 people, it's around $500,000 to $600,000.
Where are you running that event, and what's the title of it? Like, what's it about?
It's going to be in Miami. It's called Limitless Wealth. It teaches people how to make money. Like what the mindset to making money is, strategy, skills, how to think about wealth, your relationship with money. And it doesn't matter where somebody's at, right? It could be someone who's very successful, someone who isn't. I'm going to teach people tools that are pretty much universal all across the board.
Nice. Yeah. The title itself is perfectly positioned for big money offers.
Yeah. And you guys should come. I mean, I know John's coming. You should come if you're in Miami or in the US. You come check it out.
No, I'm in San Diego, but yeah. Let me look at my schedule if I can make it. But I'd be more interested to see if I can actually. Well, I don't really have anything to offer in Limitless Wealth case, but that would be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, how I would see it is this: you guys have a list. People want to meet you. They know you. They like you.
Mm-hmm.
If you do an event and you have a very clear offer on what you're going to sell them, it's practically giving money. Like it's free money.
I can sell my productivity offer, but I'm not sure if that ties in with Limitless Wealth, because I can sell it to my list and probably get some people showing up. It's just like at the event, could I sell anything if I speak there? Because I would be speaking on productivity.
And well, productivity is an easy sell, right? Like I could prime it too. I could talk to the audience and be like, guys, because I always talk about something called effective action versus ineffective action. Actually, I was teaching my mastermind this yesterday. I was like, guys, what do you think effective action is? You think building a website or anything that you can hire someone to do for a few $100s is effective? No, but hopping on a big sales call maybe is effective. Like taking action, going meeting people, speaking on stage to hundreds of people. That's an effective action, right? because it produces a lot of results in a short amount of time. Anything that produces lots of results in a short amount of time, I consider productive or effective action.
Right.
Yep.
Most people, waste a lot of time doing action that produces very little results, if any. Like making their logo look pretty.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
like that. So I think it would work. I mean, we would have to position it as a higher ticket offer.
Yep.
It's $2,000, but I think $2,000
yeah.
is the sweet spot in that.
I think it's like my higher ticket DAO itself. It's gonna be $3,000 for the year. So yeah, that's an easy offer.
And the same offer I gave John was pretty much like, look, we pushed it to the list. We can try two different things. We can do one where it's a direct conversion on the funnel, and that way we could just track it. A second one would be where they convert to a phone call, and then my sales team closes them on the event. And 50%, we'll split 50% on ticket sales, and then 50% of whatever you guys sell after cost. But cost is so little, it's pretty much 50%. Like, what's the cost? So just 50% of profit. But after, like, for example, if my sales team's taking it, then it's 50%. Like, after I give them commission at the event, they take a certain commission. Well, because we're not going to convert everyone in the back of the room. They're going to help us convert them. So getting
it's good, man. Like, currently my webinar converts at 15%.
Your webinar converts at 15%?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've been talking to John about it for the last 8 weeks. It's like consistently converts at 15 to 20%. It's on my list right now, but that's happening every week for the last 8 weeks.
Wow, that's on cold traffic?
No, my list.
Oh, your list. Still really high.
Yeah.
Still super, super, super high.
But the webinar is easily transposable to a speech because it's the same thing, more or less, like kind of like Russell does.
I mean, same thing.
Yeah, it's a $300 a month offer, but it's kind of $300 a month over a year is $3,600, but position it as a $3,000 offer for the year.
How big is your list?
My list, I have pared it down again. So I think I'm at 29,000 right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you guys can help push the offer, we get a few hundred people in the room. It'd be at the very get some cool content and like a seminar model. And at best, we get a lot of people in the room.
What are the dates? April
29th, 30th, and May 1st.
Do you have a landing page already for that?
So I wasn't running traffic to it that way. I was only selling it through calls. So that was the landing page. But I think my sales team my marketing team just built a landing page to that event.
Which hotel are you running it at?
Depends on the amount of people. So I said
you haven't booked it yet.
Yeah, it's going to be Miami, that's for sure. The question is where. Depends on how many people, right? If it's more people, then I'm going to pick a bigger hotel. I just want to make sure that
Miami's got enough inventory, so you don't have to worry about hotel.
Oh yeah, it's super easy. I just want to make sure that if there's a room, let's say so rooms under 100 people or 120 people it's a different room than someone with over 120 or 150 or 300 or 500. So I have to get an idea of the numbers. But yeah, I mean, what's your open rate?
Yeah, around 22, 23% right now.
So, I mean, what I'm considering doing with this event is turning it into a kind of conference, and getting multiple speakers that help push the room and fill the room. And besides the fact that it's just a ton of fun, because it really is just a bunch of fun to have a massive seminar. It'd be cool because anyone who buys a VIP ticket gets to network with all of us for like an hour in like a cocktail setting, so they just kind of, and there aren't that many people who've gotten VIP so far. So the ones who do get it, I think are going to really, really benefit. And those are the ones who also can afford ridiculous amounts of money. They're probably much more.
Yeah. So it sounds exciting, man. I love Miami. So that's an easy reason for me to go there. But
I'll send you my number, or I'll have John send you my number, and then we can or just set up a group chat with all of us, and then I'll make a landing page for both of you. And if you guys want to do it, then we'll set it up, and then I'll help you guys. Actually, we'll hop on another call, and I'll teach you guys exactly what you need to do to make sure that you get the highest conversion from the stage. Like I'll tell you, what the CTA looks like, what we should do there. Go over it. I'll listen to it. I'll kind of show you mine. I'll show you what I'm doing. And then you guys work it out, because to be honest, the more offers, the more money, because there's some people that are going to resonate with you. Some people are going to resonate with me. Some people are going to resonate with money. It's like, there's just so many different options. And the more offers I've noticed, the more revenue comes in anyways. And people like to see it. They get tired of the same speaker over and over, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool to speak for 3 days, but it's also fun to have other speakers. I've never had it where I've had maybe one other speaker, but I've never had a conference where I've had all these people come, and I've always been the one filling the room. So if I could get a bigger audience, right? People will come to see you, people come to see you, people come from me, right? And now you have a bunch of people who are kind of like, whoa, this is awesome. It'd be a really cool event.
Yeah, it's good timing in the sense like I would need probably 2 months to at least get the word out there for people to know that it's happening so they can buy tickets and do all of those things. Because if it was too short of a window of time, then it's very hard to fill any, like at least to get people to show up anywhere. So, I
mean, if each of you can get around 50 people to show up to the event, I mean, the event already is much bigger, because I'm thinking of doing it, like I forgot the name.
I have no idea right now. I'll tell you that because I've never sold an event before. So I have no idea how many people I will be able to sell. I just want you to know about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a 29,000 person list and people are converting, it'll be pretty easy, because people want a conference to go to. They want something, you know. And if you frame it as a business conference on the email, you know, and you just amplify the people coming. Like my other friend who was speaking there, his name is Chase Hughes. He like trained the CIA, FBI, you know, all these intelligence agencies in behavioral profiling, and he's the president of the Psychological Warfare Committee of the United States government. So, you know, he's super cool. So I've done a seminar with him before. So he's also coming, you know, he's going to speak. He's got a pretty cool list. His list has like a 70 or 80% open rate, which is crazy. You know? Yeah.
And there's a combination, right? There's a podcast, there's YouTube channel, and then there's because my YouTube has 80,000 subscribers, my podcast.
But what we could do is we could set up a plan to kind of let your audience, my audience, his audience, and everyone's audience kind of together. And then all the speakers that I want to have at the event can hop on like a live or something together, and we can actually promote it. And then what I want to do is, leading up to the event, I want to do Zoom calls once every week or once every 2 weeks, and we can have each one of us take one of those Zoom calls and kind of teach and get them excited about the event. You know,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
So that way we actually have them getting nurtured up to the event, which will increase the show up rate and the excitement and the hype, you know. And we can keep telling them, hey, if you guys have friends, come, you know, invite them. I think we can get the event up to 500. Yeah. And then that's a pretty cool event.
Yeah.
And then think about it.
That'd be big. Yeah.
You know, let's start posting it on Instagram, you know, then I can actually create a brand. Like Limitless Wealth will actually become a brand, like 10x. And then I could do another one in like 6 months and make it much bigger.
That is true. Like that, the name of a product as a brand is so much like with a specific end result has a lot more value than the name. Well, I guess when Tony does a seminar, there's Tony, but then there's Unleash the Power Within, and so on and so forth. David Destiny, or
Business
Mastery, and all of those things. Those events have their own brand.
Yeah, I have Mindset Mastery, Limitless Wealth. You know, those are my main 3 seminars that I push. So,
3, what are they? Mindset Mastery,
Limitless, and Limitless Wealth.
Limitless is just Limitless by itself?
Yeah, just Limitless. Yeah. Okay. And the reason is I'm teaching people how to hypnotize others and a bunch of other crazy shit. And then Mindset Mastery is teaching people how to kind of work on their own mindset, like how they think, like what are you doing? What's the process going on in your mind? Limitless is overcoming a lot of problems, but also teaching them really, really cool persuasion and influence stuff. And then Limitless Wealth is all about, hey, this is how you think about money. This is how you make more money. This is how I made more money. This is how other people have made more money. This is their mindset. This is their thoughts. This is how you problem solve, you know? So
it's good. Yeah. The money market is always the best market, to be honest, like in terms of, the closer you are to money is the more money you make. That's just the rule of life.
Yeah.
Closer you are positioned to money in any way, shape, or form, the more money you make.
And one of my friends is the best direct response copywriter in the world.
Who?
I can't say his name only because he's not allowed to write emails for anyone other than the company he works for. But he's sold over $300 million in email copy. And anyways, I'm sure I could talk to him and have him kind of help us construct an email that will convert for the event.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, just something that we can use universally for everyone's list and
Yeah.
swap
I
out.
think the topic is great, and it lines up with, because mine is mostly entrepreneurial audience. It's always been book summaries for entrepreneurs, my time management and stuff like that. So it's good.
Maybe
Good place for them
send
to
out an
show up.
email, kind of test the water today. Send out an email, be like, hey, if you're interested in this, kind of see what they'd say. But you have a massive list. 9,000 is fucking big. So they must have
Yeah, I'll have to, like, as once we kind of nail this, and once we are for sure, like I think I'll figure out pretty quickly to speak to the audience and figure out a way to get those tickets. And because the thing is, I've never done an event before, so, or a in-person event before, so maybe they're excited just to hang out with me. Maybe they're excited to come learn stuff. I don't know. Right.
I'll tell you, you'd be surprised as to how many people want to come see people live. Yeah. It's a different atmosphere, And I'm a wear suit. I like wearing suits on stage. So that's my brand. I wear suits no matter what. But be you. Like, let people see you on it. I go on there. I bring the energy. I like it. It's fun. If you're going to be in Miami in March, you can come see actually what something like this would look like. And get an idea. I'll send you guys a link actually of my clothes. People don't really know this is a clothes, but it's a clothes. And this one made me, like I said, almost 220 overnight. So
nice.
Like in an hour.
Dude, I've become more and more tuned to the idea of, like, because I think John and I have both cut our teeth more in direct response marketing and or like email marketing and close. Like, we don't think of sales as much as we think of marketing. So a webinar is the first thing that I've ever done that's quote unquote a close, right? Because everything, it's like, we've mostly done marketing, we've never really done sales. And it's really like fascinating now that I'm getting into the webinar world to see closes and to analyze closes and to see closes. It's like a whole different ball game. Like, I never thought that how much it takes to get that kind of closing and all that stuff. So it's fun.
It is fun. Seminar closing is like it's an animal.
So seminar closing and webinar closing is probably the same thing, right? You would say?
No. I'm amazing at closing at a seminar. My webinar closing shit compared to what my conversion would be. Like, a seminar is over 60-70%. Like, I'll get almost the entire room on board. I've had seminars with 100% of the room, and there was over like 50 people in the room. I've closed every single person in the room. And a webinar, they're not in the room. There's distractions. There's things around it. They don't have, like I always say, focus is currency, and you don't have 100% focus.
Yeah.
So you'll actually see more conversion in a seminar, but you can't be as logical. You have to be more emotional. So there's a lot more energy in there, which is where the comfort zone is. Like I'll go and you'll see me get like, let's fucking go. Like, I'll show you a video right before the close at one of my seminars, so you understand what I mean. It really is an emotional look.
Love it. That's a Tony Robbins style.
Yeah, so
that's what he does.
That's why he does it.
Yeah.
Because
that's how he sells Date with Destiny.
So he sells everything.
Yeah, that's how he sells everything.
Get in a fucking peak state. Let's go. Hype them up. Makes them stand, because they're much more likely to make the decision to buy something standing up than they are sitting down. They're much more likely to do it when they're in a positive state than a negative state. If they're in a positive state, they're more confident. They're focused on what they can do rather than what they can't. They're focused on what they're going to make rather than what they'll lose. They're focused on their future rather than their fear. And then in that state, you can convert them.
Did you watch Russell's 10x speech?
Yeah, he closed 3 million, and then there was a repitch, and they closed another 3 million.
Yeah,
repitch. What's his name? This black guy. What's his name? He teaches people how to close from the stage. He's okay. He closes. You get it's the same speech. In my opinion, it's a little bit cheesy, but it converts.
Golden.
Yes, Golden.
Myron Golden.
Yeah, Myron Golden. That guy. Yeah. So I like him. I think it's cool. But again, I don't think anyone sells from the stage like me. Actually, no, I know nobody sells from the stage like me. Like, for example, Tony Robbins, #1 salesperson who sold 14 million from the stage for him, right? His name's Eli Wild. And he's sold over 100 million in sales for Tony Robbins. And that was his job, just go on stages and sell his event. And he's one of my closest friends. And even he's like, dude, I've never seen someone sell from the stage like me.
Nice.
So it's like, but that's because I watched everybody. I if anything, I think Tony Robbins is the best from the stage in the world. Just because nobody realizes that everything coming out of his mouth is a sales pitch. There's not a single thing that comes out of his mouth. I had a mentor, and that mentor changed my life. My original mentor, Jim Rohn, said, if you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. It's the only way it happens, And then that's priming people to think that they need to change, they need to get better. And how are they going to get better? Well, they're at a seminar, so that's how they're going to get better. And next thing you'll hear him say is, progress equals happiness, right? And when you're in a peak state, that's when you have to commit yourself to fulfillment. And then he'll drop all his products. So it'd be like, so that's when I scheduled a meeting. I'd sign up for the class. I'd schedule a call with a mentor who's going to mentor me. I'd sign up for a mastermind of people I just met. I'd do something that commits me to fulfillment and then ties it all to fulfillment. Like, he's just so funny,
He's good.
Yeah. And it just slips over your head. He just says it so cardiously. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. I should go do that, So I learned from him initially. I'm like, you know what? Tony Robbins is probably the best at this. Grant Cardone is also really fucking good. Every post Grant Cardone has, he's like, money's useless. Like, you don't need to keep your money, which look,
give it to me.
Yeah, to be honest, it makes sense in the sense that he's going to teach you how to make more money. Like, actually, if you go spend money with him, you'll learn how to make more money. Makes sense. Right. But he's priming everybody to give him money,
Yeah.
So
yeah. And that's shit. Every dollar I've spent with Russell Brunson has probably come back like tenfolds to me. So I know, shit, those
but
things.
But you go all in. You go all in. A lot of
Yeah.
these guys don't go all in. So people who invest and they don't go all in, they're not going to get the results. So someone is like, okay, I'll go try it, and then they don't go all in. Well, all right, no shit, you tried it.
Right.
So if you listen to that mentor and you follow the strategy, you'll get the result. You will. People get results with them for a reason. They're not just big for no reason. They get results. I get results for a reason.
What do you think of Russell's speech at 10X?
I like him. Look, I'll tell you, I like all of them, and the results are crazy. The reason his results are crazy is he had the social proof, he had the audience, he has the brand, click funnels, so everyone's like, whoa, there's the halo. But my opinion is that if that was a cold audience, he would have not converted shit.
Oh yeah, if it was a cold, it's a different game. But any seminar is not a cold audience though, right?
It's not a cold audience, but what I'm saying is I learned how to sell from cold audiences. Like, I would go speak to an RSD audience who's like, who the fuck is this kid? I go sell to I would go up to random people at the mall, get them to come to my seminar, and then sell to them. That's how I used to fill my rooms. I'd walk up to random people at bars, clubs, parties, and just buy my seminar. And I had to learn how to convert them, because I had to rely on the fact that I had so little leads coming in. I had to squeeze as much of them as I could. That's how I was making a living. Because I'm like, I have a lavish lifestyle. And then I go speak to a warm audience and I convert 100%, 90%, 80% of the room. I'm like, what the fuck? It's so easy.
How often are you doing these seminars? Because we were talking about a lot of things, but it's only when we talk about seminar and closing on seminars, you totally light up and you're like so excited about it.
I love seminars. It's my favorite thing in the world. It's my favorite thing in the world. Now, less. Like, if I could do them once a week, I would. Before COVID, 2019, I was doing a speech a week. I was in a different city every week, having a different seminar. What? Now it's a little bit harder to fill the room. More people, kind of skeptical. They want to do it online. And also it's less profitable in the moment, just because less people are coming. Travel. So this is my first bigger seminar that I'm gonna do since COVID.
Yeah, no, this model makes sense. I think it'd be perfect too. Like I said, I've got, I'm just launching this literally financial freedom program. So I think that would be, ticket price will be $5,000. So I think that would sell well on stage. And, yeah, it's easy. And offer payment plans. Yeah. Make sure they have a certain amount they could put down, because 300, 500, there's not enough skin in the game, right? If they could put 20% of it down, then they're in,
Like that's like what, 1,100, 1,000, yeah, something like that. 1,200.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's an interesting, different way of thinking about things from funnel. Like Manny was saying, we both came from the email marketing background, really, where it's your traditional funnel where you're getting leads from organic content, mostly get into email, and then pitching something that's $100 to $500 price point. It's automatic, but it's not as profitable. But I think looking at something this like, go ahead.
I was wondering, like, because the general admission ticket's $350 to the seminar, right?
Right.
What would you guys convert on a ticket like that?
Gosh, it's hard to say, because the biggest variable is not the price. It's will people fly out to the location?
They can watch it on YouTube, don't forget. They could literally be there live with us on Zoom with hundreds of other people. So they have both. We can even have it at the checkout. We could have, do you want to watch this live on Zoom, or do you want to fly in?
Yeah.
Yeah, the price point, like, I think, John, go ahead, because I'd be interested to hear John's opinion on ticket sales.
Yeah, I think that, like, for that lower price point to come out to see you, like, I think that's a fairly easy sell. I think there'd be a high percentage of people that would, like, if they know that I'm speaking at an event and it's only a few $100s to join it, I think that would have a pretty decent conversion. It's hard to say, though. We haven't really done.
I think John would have a way, way, way higher conversion, just because John is a personality brand. Like, literally, people know John, right? He's on camera, he's on video, he's everywhere that way. So I think, John, you underestimate how many people will show up just to meet with you.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I'd be interested. I feel like I could fill 50 slots.
Oh, I'm positive you can.
Yeah.
You probably sell, at $400, you can sell more, because people want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And especially if you had a special hangout with John only,
for sure,
meetup, you would get tons of people just because they want to come hang out with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, no holds barred, come hang out with me in a party. That's when people show up.
That's true. And we can set something up where people are, like, we can even prime them, right? Prior, like I said, besides the Zoom calls, like, could do podcasts, could do a lot of things to kind of hype people up prior to that. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that'll work.
Well, I have a community where people show up to co-work with me live, not with me, but with my people every hour on the hour. It's like live co-working. We call it focus blocks. So in some ways, like, we are able to do a lot of sales just because we're on focus blocks all the time, because we have a little bit of, like, time at the end where we're talking about new things that are happening. So I'm excited to see what happens when that triggers, and when we start talking about an event.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
No, I'm excited about it. I love seminars, as you guys can see. It's like lights me up. It's something that just, it feels like home to me on stage. So to bring some buddies of mine on there and make it even bigger audience, that's the most fun. Like, the more people in the room, the more fun the room is. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I love doing the speaking on stage is exciting. It's a lot of fun. Definitely one of my favorite things to do as well.
Yeah. But speaking to close, it's a whole new game.
Yeah. Right? See, I like now making money to it is even better. So,
because forever when you've spoken, you've only spoken.
Yeah. Well, because most conferences you go to, you cannot sell on stage, right? Like, seminars are different, but conferences you go to, they would, like, if you sell on stage, you're going to get slaughtered. Like, they're like, in fact, a lot of times they tell you don't sell anything on the stage. So
that's why I don't get invited to conferences.
Yeah.
Because I tell them, like, I don't want a salary. I don't want you to pay to go on stage. Let me sell it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I'm happy to split it with you. I will give you, literally, if I go on stage, they'll make more money just from my speech than they would have made the entire event combined. I promise that. Like, I know that for a fact. I don't care who they hire on stage. I don't care how big the speaker is. I am the best on the stage because my content's original, the energy, the flair. I'm young, right? I have a different thing. Like Grant Cardone's about to be too old to be on stage. You have maybe 10 years left. Tony Robbins almost gone. Who's going to replace them, right? There isn't another generation of speakers that are doing it. So my goal has been, since I've started, is like, I'm going to be that guy that everyone's going to be like, damn, Marcel Klein. I have 2 TV shows that are about to come out, one on Netflix, probably one on Hulu. We'll see, you know? So there's a lot of things that will blow up the brand as well, which will make it more exciting. But I'm telling you, I think you guys will love this model. I'm telling you, because it's fun and you get to bond and you change people's lives and it's just there.
I think the community and bonding aspect is really true. Like when people meet with you and hang out with you, they're going to invest so much more into you than when they just see you on a phone call or.
Yeah. From a business paradigm, yeah, it's super profitable. But from like a fulfillment aspect, it's the most fun. That's why it lights me up. It's like like I could sit here and scale up the phone thing. I could just take on one-on-one clients. If there's things I can do that are more profitable that require very, very little effort. The seminar is actually quite exhausting. The logistics of it, setting it up, flying out my staff, you know, setting up the hotels, like filling the room, all of it's exhausting, you know. But the reward of actually seeing people's lives change, that to me is why it's worth it. So, you know, you guys will like it just from that alone. Like I remember I told you at worst, get good content and have a really good time. You know, even if you make $0 on the episode, like I would speak on stage for free if it was a big enough room because it's fun.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I think it'll be fun. I mean, we'll find a plan to fill it, but we have 60 something days to fill it.
Yeah. 60 to 70 days right now, which is good time.
It's a long time. That's a long time. You know?
Yeah, if you have some sort of an outline or something or any page or anything I can sink my teeth into so I know how to approach this and how to think about pitching.
So go on my YouTube channel. It's Marcel Klein.
Okay.
So you'll see there are 3 live streams. Like, okay, so there's 2 videos and there's 3 live streams at the top. Those are all seminars I was speaking at. So like 3 days I'm speaking at in those. You know, and you can see 3 hours, 15 minutes on one speech, 2 hours, 17, 40 down on another. And that's a lower quality seminar. If you go down a little bit further, there's one that says how to make money, 40,000 overnight. It's a 14-minute video. That's one of my closes actually in Miami, but also speech. You know, there's another one of me when I was
the live Miami Winter Summit.
Yeah, I'm not sure can you watch that one? Does that one actually let you?
Yeah, live Miami Winter Summit seminar. I can watch that.
Okay, yeah, and that's also a seminar. I mean, I'm not really pitching that too much. I already pitched the day before, but that just gives you a perspective as to what the seminar looks like. My voice is gone in that because that was the first time speaking in like a year and a half. So I did not have any endurance vocally. Right? It was just completely gone. So, you know, yeah, I mean, you can watch that so you get an idea of how I speak on stage, but it's so different when you're in the room, you know. And you're seeing how people respond. You're seeing vocal like projection. You just got to go on stage. You got to own it. Like that's my number one advice. Be yourself. Own you. Like own being you. You know, but up the energy. If your energy is normally a 5, make it an 8.
Right.
Because you got to, you know, they've been in the room for hours. They're sitting down all day long. They're tired. You got to like bring the fucking bam. You know, you got to listen.
Yeah. I'm checking out your channel.
There's a vibe. Cool. Dude, there's a really good vibe in seminars, you know, like there's a very it's like a warm, loving, you know, environment. I have a call in 4 minutes, just so you guys know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should probably wrap this up here. We should do like some ending thoughts for the call, just a kind of quick, what's your thought of the day?
Or the week. That's how we end every
week,
one
basically.
Of these calls.
Yeah.
Sure. You guys want to start?
I'm just thinking of mine now.
Mine is that, you know, hey, look, you gave me the opportunity to come on here, and that could be the difference between me speaking to 100 to 150 people more, you know? So me just coming on here can make an impact. So if there's an opportunity you guys have, take advantage of it. There's always opportunities around, you know, most people say no to them. They don't go out, they don't meet people. I think opportunities lie when people present them. So whether you're tired, you're not tired, you don't wake up early, take advantage of as many opportunities as you can. And I think you'll see a lot of rewards start to come from that.
Yeah. I'm going to like kind of add to what you're saying here and say the biggest changes in life come as a result of changing your environment or situation. And one of the biggest contributors to that environment is the people, So surrounding yourself with people, with different people, changes the game every single time. Every single time. So that's kind of more and more the truth of life I keep realizing over and over and over again.
I guess mine is like you have to be open to doing things different ways, right? Like to realize that there are different people that are completely having success in a completely different way. There's not one way to success, right? It's like I've been learning that lately in the last few weeks, just what we heard from Marcel, and doing selling on stage seminars. It's a totally different model. I heard
Webinars,
making so much money on TikTok, and it's like that seems like a ridiculous model, but they don't have an email list, they don't have anything. They're just selling directly from TikTok, and it's like there's all these different ways, but we kind of get stuck. You get stuck in one way, and then it limits you. So
yeah, being flexible, I think, is really, really important.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next week then.
Yep. See you, man. Thank you.